Welcome back to the feature engineering module. So far, we were dealing with categorical variables having less number of categories. Now imagine if your data set has a categorical column with 100 different categories. And it quite often does happen in the industry. So do you think one-hot encoding is a good idea? Not really. For example, here we have a sample data set with a column city. Imagine if this column has 500 unique cities. Performing one-hot encoding will create 500 different variables with 0 and 1 value. That's going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with. So what can we do? Well, here's the trick. We can combine sparse classes. But wait, what are sparse classes? Classes with relatively low frequency are known as sparse classes. Here's the value count for different cities. Cities having very low frequency, like Guwahati, Raipur and Indore, are less frequent in the dataset compared to other cities in the data. Since these cities have a very low frequency, we can combine these cities under a new category other to reduce the number of unique categories. And this will not explode the dimensionality of the dataset as well. So to reduce this number of categories, we can simply combine a few categories and hence reduce the overall number of classes for the variable based on the frequency count of variable. There can be different ways of combining as well if you have that domain knowledge. For example, in this case, I can combine similar cities together and similarity can be geographic based or type of city based like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And also create a region variable which is one level up in the geographical hierarchy, but this is only doable if you have the geographical information. Let's go ahead and look at an example in Python. We'll continue working on the same notebook which we saw in the last video. So here we use the BigMart sales dataset and we looked at what are the different categorical columns. We first used one-hot encoding on the whole data set and discussed that we essentially have two problems that we're working with. Some variables might have an inherent order. That was the first problem. And the second was that the size has increased drastically. Remember, we started off with 12 variables, but after using one-hot encoding, we ended up with over 1600. To solve the first problem, we used the label encoding method. And now we can look at dealing with high cardinality or the high number of dimensions. To do this, we'll be reducing the number of categories. So let's first see which variable has the highest number of unique categories. We can do this using the .nUnique functions. Out of all the categorical variables, item identifier has the maximum number of unique values. Now this might be because each store has given a certain number or identifier to each individual item. Let's look at the value count for this variable. The maximum frequency is 10. And actually there are many values which occur just once or twice. So what we'll do is we're going to combine these low frequency classes. So we'll first store the frequency count of the variable in temp and let me print out the first few rows. Okay, here we go. Now we'll create a new column in the data frame item identifier count, which will store the value count for each category. We'll do this with the help of the apply function. The apply function performs a given task for every row in the data frame. So here I've used the apply function on the item identifier column. For each category in the item identifier, it will return the frequency from the temp that we'd created here. So let me go ahead and run that. And finally, we want to combine the sparse classes. So for all the categories which have frequency less than 4, I've replaced the category with other. So let me run this for loop. It might take a couple of moments. So let's just wait for this to run. Alright. Now let's look at the first 7 rows. Perfect. Now when we look at the value counts, we'll see that the least values we can see is 4. So the 1 and 2 values we saw earlier have now been combined. Alright, so we have so far covered numerous methods to perform feature preprocessing. Now let's move to the second part of this video, the feature generation methods. Thank you.